Mr. Kali, my name is Lee, and we are presenting our topic is continuing professional development. My colleagues will introduce themselves as we go along with the presentation. So I'll be doing the introduction and the history and nature of continuous professional development. So to introduce the topic, continuous professional development is one of the key criteria by which we can judge our professionalism. It enables us to measure not only our current competence, to care for our archive collections and manage records, but to measure our commitment to expanding not only our expertise but the boundaries of the body of knowledge, skills, and experience of profession as a value. So we as a group have come to the conclusion that what we're literally doing now is continuous professional development, because we are building up a career, but we're also enhancing the career by obtaining a qualification further, so that we can be more successful in the careers paths that we follow. It furthermore says in our introduction, a sound education at the point of entry into the professional competency-based training. So by studying together, by working and studying simultaneously, it enhances the work that we do and it makes us more professional. It also contributes to us seeing the workplace and the work that we do in a different light, in a more professional manner. So moving on to the nature and the history of continuous professional development, the concept of continuous professional development can broadly trace its roots to the decades following World War II, which means this phenomenon has been coming on for a long while now, when it institutionalized bodies identified a need for structured further learning post-formal qualification. So once again, I come back to stating that we came to a establishment that provides us with recognized or recognizes the qualification, which will then credit us within the workplace, so that we can apply for better posts. And also, as we discussed as a group, that most of us wants to work in the HR field, hence us studying this degree. This is also to enhance our professionalism in the HR department. So I'll give over to my colleague now, and she can introduce herself.
Good evening, Mr. Kylie. My name is Masendla, and I'll be presenting about the importance of continuing professional development. The importance of CPD is that it ensures competency in the workplace. It makes one to keep on par with the current standards. It also increase the confidence of the person, and then it also helps one make meaningful contribution into the organization. And I'll be also presenting about the different approaches of CPD. One, which is input approach. The second one is output, and the third one is the combination of both approaches. The input-based approach is it allows a member to establish a set amount of a learning activity that is considered appropriate to develop and maintain competence. This is the traditional basis. This is the traditional basis of CPD, where you measure the CPD, where you measure your CPD by the number of hours. These requirements can be averaged over a 3-year period. The second approach is output based approach. This approach requires a member to demonstrate by way of outcomes that he develops and maintain professional competency. The key feature of output CPD is that completing a prescribed number of hours is not requirement. The third one will be presented by my fellow colleague. Guys, what?
Thank you very much, Ms. Sinclair. My name is Simcela Helton Nati, and I will take over where my colleague left off on the combination approach. Where a combination approach is adopted, a member shall be required to achieve a combination of structured and unstructured CPD per annum, together with evidence to demonstrate achievement of outcomes to sustain the professional competence. And the combination approach requires a member to combine elements of input-based approach and the output-based approach, setting the amount of learning activity required and measuring the outcomes achieved. Who does the CPD affect? The CPD actually affects the professional involved, because the professional will get the necessary skills that are required to do the job and be able to be on par with the national standards or with the international standards of what the job requires. And secondly, it affects the organization or the business in a way that, because when the professional is working and is performing as per what the professional is required, that means the business will grow. The member will be able to contribute into the business more professionally and more productively. And the third slide, which we are going to be dealing with strategies, will be delivered by my colleague MISOSO.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kylie. I will be dealing with strategies for CPD. The strategies is essential for service improvement and good people management. The strategy in a workplace is very important. So as a manager, you must have those strategies to deal with your people or with your colleague. So that's why the strategies for CPD is very essential and it is very important. And I think a strategy, when you are the manager or you are a supervisor, you must show those key features that you are studied. So that's why it's very important, and it also applies to the following co-workers. So CPT applies to the whole workforce, including carers, such as family and friends, volunteers. So CPT is a shared responsibility with a supervisor, with a manager, with a colleague. So that's why you have to work together, you have to cooperate so that the improvement or the professional CPD can be developed in a workplace. So that's why you must have those strategies, and it must work both the employer and the employee. Now, I'll talk about the practical guidelines for CPD, providing training and development system. So those are the practical guidelines that you must have as a manager, or the company must have those practical guidelines the company must have in order to develop the worker and the supervisor as well. So now you must provide that training, and what I believe, the worker cannot start in a new environment or in a new department without providing the training. At least there must be that training provided to the employee before it starts to the department. and practical guidelines is to develop a system so that when the workers start, so that's why you must give that training so also that the worker can be used to the system. It also identifies gaps in the performance. It provides system for employees to record the learning activities. Thank you, Mr. Kali.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kylie, for the opportunity to present the CPD. And I think from this topic, we've learned a lot as well. And thank you very much. And any questions, please, you can forward us via emails. We'll be very glad to answer those. Thank you very much.